Are you a troublemaker? Well, artificial intelligence is coming to find out whether you are a troublemaker or not. Google has just updated its privacy policy, stating that they can use any of your information and feed it into artificial intelligence. That's now A-OK, apparently. And what is really going on with that? Why are they doing that? Why did they want to do that with Twitter? Why are they doing that with Facebook and Threads and all this kind of stuff like that? Why are they so eager to take all of your information, especially your social media information, and to shove it into artificial intelligence? It's censorship. That's why. They're training the AI sensors to be able to detect wrongthink and detect trends so that they can decide whether whole trends, any topics of conversation, need to be censored. Friends, they learned their lessons this last go around with the cough cough. They found out that their censorship was not nearly as complete and not nearly efficient enough to silence everyone that they wanted to silence, and they're not going to make that mistake again, friends. So let's talk about what they're doing. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, but we're all interested and we're all worried about what's going on with this artificial intelligence. It's an amazing, powerful tool. The question is, will they weaponize it against us and other people, or are they going to be benevolent and allow this tool to be used by all to make life on this planet so much better? I think we all know the answer to that. They seem to weaponize everything. Every time someone makes some sort of invention, it's just, how can we make a weapon out of this? How can we oppress people? How can we gain more power for ourselves? And so it is too here. Now, I know a lot of you guys are not fans of Elon Musk. Some of you are very, very skeptical and very, very, you think that he is a lizard person, evil, part of the global cabal, and you think that his noises about free speech are really just a show. And that could be true. That could be true. What I do know is this, is that he is catching a whole heck of a lot of flack. He is catching a Donald Trump amount of flack from a lot of these globalists that want to oppress us. And I have to say, while I don't trust anybody, especially in politics or in tech, but I will say that I do view the enemy of my enemy as at least somebody that I can maybe get along with. At least as long as I understand their motives and why they're doing what they're doing. Elon Musk at least seems to be temporarily in the free speech. He's at least allowing free speech. And we see more and more, especially as Zuckerberg has just launched his Threads app or whatever. So Instagram, Facebook, and now Threads are all in the same ecosystem. And what we're seeing coming out as people are analyzing kind of the privacy policies with that, they're analyzing the data that's being scraped, and it is very, very worrisome. Because Zuckerberg wants to link your speech, all of it, on Instagram, Facebook, and on Threads, directly to your information. And this is a thing that a conversation is being had out there right now. Whereas Elon Musk is saying, no, we're not going to connect your speech publicly to your information, like your address, your cell phone. Whereas the censors want your speech to be connected directly with a person so they can call up your employer and get you fired if they don't like what you have to say. They want to be able to show up at your house and harass your house, just like they used to do with crosses in yards back in the day. Honestly, these people don't change. The people that wanted to oppress people then are the same kind of people that want to oppress people today. If you step out of line, if you get out of place, they want to put you in your place. It's not so much about skin color for them now, it's about what's going on in your brain. Or do you have wrongthink? And they realize that they cannot possibly censor all the people. They cannot cancel all the people that need to be canceled. So that's why they need artificial intelligence to be able to scrape across all of the internet, all the Facebook comments, all of the YouTube comments, all of the information out there. They need to get better about censoring everybody. if you've noticed that we use keywords and such on this channel to kind of circumvent some things here so that we can talk a little more openly about some things that we're not supposed to talk about. And how can we get away with that garbage here? It's because we're mostly dealing with human censors. Once AI fully gets trained and can really identify when people are speaking out of turn, or when they're trying to use keywords, or when they're trying to say something without saying it in a certain way, that's when the tyranny is going to get real, folks. I believe that, at least for now, Twitter is the most viable free speech platform out there. And I know there's other platforms out there that are very small, that have no advertisers on them, that it's just not viable. But what we're seeing with the threads and Facebook and Instagram, all is this colossus almost trying to take on Google with their Gmail, their search engine, and YouTube, right? Zuckerberg is really aiming for Google. And both these guys are going all in on AI. Now, Zuckerberg blew, a couple $1 billion on the whole metaverse a couple of years ago. He went all in on it, and everyone just kind of walked out and just like, this is dumb. Will threads be different? I don't know. But understand what they're doing. They need all this data. And this is one of the reasons why in the last week or so, I'll tip my hat to Elon Musk. He said, no, you cannot keep scraping all of the Twitter information and using it to train your AI. Because that's what they're really trying to do, is they're trying to take all that aggregate data from Twitter of people actually having conversations so that they can train the artificial intelligences to identify wrong speak and topics as they come out in real time of what needs to be censored and all the people trying to talk about that topic. And they're trying to get the artificial intelligence so good that it can identify troublemakers and trouble conversations that should not be happening, so that those can be censored. We're seeing that Threads, this app, is actually scraping a lot more and unusually large, as they're saying, amount of data from users. And people are already seeing people censored and shadow banned, people trying to follow other people and getting these warnings like, this person has repeatedly shared misinformation. I mean, it was like a day old and people were getting that. They've repeatedly shared misinformation. And they're trying to train the system to identify troublemakers and to quietly silence those troublemakers in a soft way. And that's one of the things I think that we all kind of realize, that they're trying to hard ban people. But what we haven't realized is that the shadow banning is becoming so much more important. Because if they can quietly silence you without actually having a ban on you, one, you won't go to another platform. Okay? If you just go to another platform, you might take a bunch of those people with you. If you don't realize you're being shadow banned, if you don't realize that you're being quietly silenced, then they can kind of keep pressure on you and push you down. And that way, it seems like it's fair, but if they censor people, if they ban people, then everyone gets in an uproar. Oh, I can't believe you banned so-and-so. Can't believe you banned so-and-so. But if they shadow ban, or if they silence quietly, and that's why we're seeing that here on YouTube too. I mean, that's the very real thing that's happening in the background, is they are just putting increasing pressure on people they don't want to speak and people they don't want to be heard. And so I know a lot of you actually end up having to type this channel's name into the search bar. You have to actively seek this channel out in order to watch the videos. A lot of you have mentioned that you either get unsubscribed, you get unfollowed, or you're following and you just never see the thumbnails show up in your feed. Others of you are saying that even though you watch regularly, you can't get to this channel very easily. And that's just all part of the thing. They're just trying to make it a little bit harder. If they can make it just 5% harder, 10% harder, then a more significant number of people will just not watch those videos, not listen to that person. And they want artificial intelligence to not only be able to identify these people, but then identify problem viewers, problem commenters, problem people like you. Normally they come after people like me, but they're trying increasingly to come after people like you. If they can identify who you troublemaker viewers are, then they can, wherever you go, if you really like a channel, they'll realize that you're a troublemaker, and so whoever you like is probably a troublemaker too. So they better take a harder look at that channel over there, because they didn't think there's anything wrong with that channel, but the fact that you like it means it's probably problematic. And you see that, and people who watch the same channels as you watch, because you're a troublemaker, anyone who associates with you is probably a troublemaker too. This is all the kind of stuff that they've been rolling out in China with the social credit scores. They want to give you an AI social credit score. And if you're a troublemaker, they want to take away as many of your rights as possible, but do so in just a way that it doesn't create any headlines, doesn't create a news article. They want to do it quietly. They want to make you just disappear. They want to make everyone who's freedom-minded, who speaks their mind, who calls out their BS, they want to just quietly make all those people disappear. And digitally, they increasingly can do this. They don't need to put you in a camp. All they have to do is put you in a digital group or camp where they make sure that your voice is not heard. Friends, this is what's coming. They don't have enough woke monkey keyboard warriors to censor all of us. But if they can get artificial intelligence that can scale up, they can then use that artificial intelligence to silence all of us. And that should be truly troubling to all of us. What can you do? You need to be careful about what you say. Realize that, as I said, Google just amended its privacy policy. Every comment that you've ever made on YouTube is now being fed into artificial intelligence. Gee, does that sound nefarious or what? Careful about what you say. Realize that you are being watched. I've been saying that for years. You are being watched. Is your account anonymous enough? Do you have different accounts? Do you have some accounts that you maybe say some more troublemaking kind of things, and other accounts that you keep cleaner, that are more related to your person, that are more directly related to you and your personal information? Because you don't want to have, like I said, you don't want to have your real name on your YouTube account. If you're making comments out there, if you're watching the wrong channels, you probably don't want your real name on your user account. These are things that you need to be thinking about. I'm not an expert in all this stuff, but I understand, and I've heard from people who understand how these things go. The government knows who you are, but what about the person down the street? The psycho, tyrannical, Antifa guy down the street. Can he figure out who you are? Because if he can, he might come over to your house and go punch out some of your windows because he didn't like something you said. That's something we need to be concerned about. We need to be identifying people who are like-minded like us, and we need to be starting to watch a little more closely the people who mean us harm. The opposition side is doing that and using artificial intelligence to do that. Honestly, we'd be a whole lot smarter if we started doing the same thing to them, trying to make sure that we're keeping tabs on who the troublemakers are there. If we were able to start identifying the cell phones of all the people that show up at these Antifa meetings. If we were able to start identifying all the people that show up at these riots and protests, and that would be wise for us to do. I don't know if we can do it. We don't have all the tech companies in our pocket. We don't have the FBI and the CIA in our pocket. That's the opposition. They're literally trying to silence us and to marginalize us. So what can we do? If you have ideas, pop them down in the comments below. Maybe take a look at your information on Google and your Facebook pages and stuff like that and say, am I sharing too much information? Can somebody identify where I live from my social media? Maybe you might want to change some things. Maybe take a few things down. Just think about that kind of stuff, folks. All right, folks, if you found this video to be useful or helpful, you might want to check out this other video right up here from this channel. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.